hard to capture. Extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a convict and start killing. It's manifesting. The gods work like appliances, dealing in my psyche.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explained here, bringing you guys a discussion about Boruto Chapter 44 and all the monumental stuff that we got in terms of information that's going to be setting up the future of the Boruto series. So with that being said, this is the time of the month where I am going to talk about spoilers. So if you're an anime-only viewer, I thank you for your support. But like I said, I am going to talk about spoilers. I will just say this: if you want to read the Boruto manga and get caught up and do so in a way that helps support the channel, I'll leave links down in the description box for you guys to do so. And I'll also say that the Boruto anime, according to the information that we got, is supposed to be adapting the Majina Bandits arc, which we do have now, and it's supposed to be adapting the Owl arc, which is where you have the members of Kara, and it directly leads into the stuff that we're getting into right now. So if you want to just go ahead and wait until the anime catches up, feel free, but I highly recommend reading the manga and getting caught up. So without further ado, if you're still here, I'm gonna assume you're okay with me talking about spoilers. So as I was rereading the Boruto chapter, there was this one moment that really stood out to me, and it stood out when I first read the chapter, and it made me laugh a little bit, which was the fact that Shikamaru was basically telling Naruto, like, hey, you know, you're one of the only people who can actually stand a chance against Jigen. And then you have that moment where he tells it to Kawaki, and the thing that made me laugh about that is at first I'm like, well, Jigen did slap Naruto and Sasuke around, but it came at the expense of the point where his body started breaking down because he couldn't handle the power that Ishiki Asusuke was pumping into his body. And so then that got me to thinking, holy crap, we could actually see a scenario where Naruto actually defeats Jigen. Now, I know that seems crazy, but I'll break it down for you guys, and I'll go a step further. I definitely think that we're gonna get a rematch, and even though that fight might happen in Konoha, I think that there's enough stuff working in Naruto's favor now to where Naruto could potentially beat Jigen. So the very first thing I want to kind of point out to you is the fact that when Naruto and Sasuke were fighting against Jigen, Jigen flat out stated that it wasn't Naruto he was worried about. Even though Naruto is more powerful than Sasuke, Sasuke's analytical skills, Sasuke's quick wit, those types of things made him more dangerous. Sasuke was able to observe his Sharingan and Rinnegan, allow him to actually track Jigen's movements and see the color of Jigen's chakra even when he shrinks himself. And they've already fought against Jigen, and while on one hand it'd be like, okay, well, Sasuke has to conserve chakra, absolutely, but they can take this information, and between Naruto, Sasuke, and Shikamaru, I highly doubt they're not able to come up with some type of a countermeasure to actually attack Jigen. And I know that sounds crazy. Somebody's gonna say, I can't believe you think Shikamaru is gonna play a role in bringing down Jigen, but I definitely think that that's a possibility. I definitely think that Shikamaru can come up with a plan that Naruto can execute with Sasuke there to help him to be able to fight Jigen, because everything that they're doing so far, again, it feels like they're rushing towards an end game, but it feels like more of an end game of what you got in part 1 of Naruto, where the moment that Sasuke met with the Sound 4, you knew, like, oh shit, we're going towards something big. You didn't know what. You didn't know what. You knew there was a real threat that Sasuke would go to Orochimaru and Orochimaru could take Sasuke's body. You knew that that was a real threat, but there were so many other unresolved loose threads out there to where you knew, like, okay, Orochimaru was clearly not going to be the final villain, but he was still a end game for the type of the climate that you were in at the time. So when it comes to Jigen now, I think that they're walking that same line, and I think that Kawaki is playing the role that you had with Sasuke. Everybody wanted Sasuke much in the same way that Kara wants Kawaki, just on the fact that Kawaki is the vessel for Ishiki. And so I think that what you could indeed actually end up seeing is that between having the information that they have, they're able to pressure Ishiki to the point where his body does break down. And if that happens, you're gonna have a situation where all of a sudden, between Shikamaru come up with that strategy and maybe out the shadows using the shadow paralysis jutsu, Naruto can land a finishing blow. And I think that this is even more likely when you consider the fact that Kashin Koji is probably gonna fight Jigen. The next thing you have to consider is that eventually Jigen's gonna learn that Amado has gone to the Hidden Leaf Village. He's gonna come back back to Konoha in order to retrieve Kawaki, as well as to get Amato. The other thing is the fact that Amato flat out said that he's going to give Naruto information about Jigen, Car, and the Ten Tails. And so this is one of those things where they're setting up all these various threads, and it feels like it's all gravitating towards Naruto getting that chance to fight Jigen once again. Because again, Naruto's the type of dude, if he fights you once and you beat him, okay. But if he gets a second shot with you, Naruto might very well lose that fight as well. But I wouldn't bet against him. I really would not bet against him on that second time. And so I think that is something that they might be building towards. If you give Shikamaru the intel that Amato is able to give them, if you give Shikamaru the intel that Naruto and Sasuke have from being able to fight against Jigen, and maybe you pick Kawaki's brain as well, they're going to come up with a countermeasure and they're going to find a way to beat this guy. And given the fact that Amato knows, okay, Amato knows that Jigen's body was pushed that limit, and if he gets pushed that point, at that point he's not able to move for 2 whole days. So if they can push him to that level, it gets to a point where he can be snuffed out. But I want to know from you guys, do you guys think that this is a plausible scenario? Do you think that we could actually see Naruto versus Jigen, and do you think that Shikamaru, Sasuke, and potentially Amato are able to come up with a strategy to bring down Jigen? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.